Hello again, fellow orchid lovers. It's Danielle here with a brief video about my newer orchids. I've had these orchids for about 2 months, what they're doing, and then also some sad news about some of them. So I'll just go right into it. This is the 4 of the orchids that I bought. Probably should have counted how many before I started this video. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think, maybe 11 orchids that I bought from a couple of different places. But these are the ones that are doing quote unquote okay. Some of them better than others. So for instance, this is the best one. This is the eye candy, penny candy. This one had a spike that lasted for a good couple of months and then immediately started putting out a new growth as the spike was fading. So it's very healthy. I don't see any new roots yet, but it may be that the new growth has to get to a certain size before it will start to put out some new roots. But it's been a very healthy plant from day one. Pseudobulbs are nice and plump. The roots, although not green, do seem to be alive and hydrating the plant, and there's enough of them to keep them elevated off of the water so that the base doesn't get too wet. As you can see, it's nice. It's got a nice, it's not too damp in there. It's got some moisture, but it's not like soaking wet. So this one has done really well from the beginning. So I'm very happy with this one's progress. So that's the first one. This is also an eye candy. This is eye candy Pinky. And this is the one that I got, if you'll remember, that had like 4 spikes. It was a replacement for a plant that I ordered that they didn't think was of appropriate quality. I don't know. I don't think she's doing that good. As you can see, they're both a Wilsonara, but that pseudobulb is nice and plump and healthy. These pseudobulbs are desiccated and wrinkled, and it may just be a variation, but she doesn't have very good root system. It looks like it's all dead. I mean, it's still hydrating the plant. She's still alive, but... And also some of her spikes that were a little farther behind, they didn't do so well. One of them died back. So I did give her a few treatments for Fusarium, and I'm going to continue to do that with my other plants, which I'm going to show you in a minute, just to be on the safe side. But yeah, she doesn't look that good. And again, this just may be the way that this orchid is. Some oncidium types, they just get these wrinkled pseudobulbs, but she just doesn't look happy to me, so I'm not really sure about her. We're going to continue to try to find something that makes her happy. She is green. Her foliage is green. There's no yellowing thing. You know, leaves aren't falling off. But I don't get a good feeling about her. I think she needs some help. Interestingly, my Nellie Eiler is doing fantastically. She had a total of 4 spikes. They have since faded. But the plant itself is doing really well. I don't have dropping leaves. I don't have, you know, yellowing or wrinkling pseudobulbs. She seems to be happy. And, you know, I am keeping her in a spot where she has a constant breeze. I keep the fan in my living room going constantly, so she's in that room. So she's constantly getting like a cool breeze. So, you know, maybe that's the secret with her. Her roots were getting that white, kind of moldy, hairy looking stuff on them. And I think it's because the container I was keeping her in was too small for her root system. So I put her in this container so that her roots have a chance to get a lot more oxygen and air. And I haven't seen that problem come back. So yeah, hopefully I'll keep her alive. They do like cooler temperatures. They don't like the heat, and it is getting pretty hot here. We've had some 90s, some 80s, so I am trying to keep her cool. As soon as it gets up into like the low 70s, all the windows get closed and the ACs go on. And it's for you, Nellie Eiler. It's for you. This is my Catatante, also doing really well. It's 2 spikes, dropped all of its blooms, but they're still green, so I'm just leaving them there. They don't bother me, and they're actually helping me keep the plants so that the new growth doesn't get crushed. Let me see if I can find it for you. Where'd it go? Where'd you go? There he is. Can you see that in there? That's the new growth. And he's coming out in a place where no matter what vessel I put him in, I'm afraid he's going to get crushed. So I'm actually using the spikes to keep the plant from crushing the new growth. So I'm going to leave them on there as long as I need to get that new growth of a size where it'll be strong enough to kind of push its way up. Yeah, I might actually restake it in a minute when I stop filming. But other than that, the root system is pretty significant. It's not what I would call healthy, but it's not terrible either, and it is supporting the plant. The pseudobulbs are nice and plump. No wrinkling, leaves are staying green, spikes are staying green, so it does have energy in this plant. So I'm very satisfied with the way that that is going. Now I'm going to bring you over here to see some of my others that aren't doing as well. So I have this one. This is the Carnival Rio. I had another one of these. What was it called? I forget. It was a Carnival something. She's gone. She didn't make it. She was the first one that I confirmed had Fusarium. I tried to save her, but then as I was looking at the pseudobulb, I realized there were no available eyes. So even if I kept that pseudobulb alive, she was never going to grow. So I just was like, you know what? Bye-bye. So this one's getting treated for Fusarium. Again, you can see the wrinkled pseudobulbs. You know, she's not the happiest plant in the world. So far, she's received 1 treatment. She's going to receive another one probably in a day or 2. And, you know, we're going to see if we can save her. Again, with my fine-rooted orchids, I just try to keep like the very bottom of the roots in the water, so that the pseudobulbs are high enough off of the water. If I can focus. No, I can't. There you go. That it's not actually sitting in the water, because that will keep the pseudobulbs way too wet, and then you'll have pseudobulb rot. So you want to avoid that if possible. An example of why that's bad is here. So this is what's left of my Miltonias that I got. Sorry, my Miltoniopsis. I have a tendency to say Miltonia when I mean Miltoniopsis. So if I do that at any point in this video, I apologize. I am talking about Miltoniopsis, although there is a Miltonia that's going to be making an appearance in this video. So bear with me. You know what I'm talking about. This is all that's left of my Andrea West. And if you saw my original video, this plant was ginormous. It was huge. It was gorgeous. It had Fusarium. And by the time I caught on, it was such a huge plant, I was like, this plant don't got Fusarium. I ain't even gonna test it. And it had like 4 spikes, and they were beautiful and everything like that. So I didn't test it, and I should have tested it because I'm gonna lose her. This is all that's left. No roots. She's gonna die. There's no way I can keep this hydrated without rotting it. There's no way. I'm gonna try because I am so freaking stubborn. But there's no way you can keep this hydrated without rotting the pseudobulb. So she's a goner. If she was like this is a piece of the other Miltonia that I failed to remember the name and I threw out the tag. If she was like this and had some roots, I could probably save her. This one, you know, she just kind of hovers. Her roots kind of hover. So she doesn't, the base of her pseudobulb doesn't get too wet because she's hovering. But with a situation like this, there's nothing to hover with, so she's gonna die. I'm still gonna try though, because like I said, I'm stubborn. This is the Tropic Lily Hylo spaceship that I absolutely love, and this was the plant that made me purchase from this supplier because I just love this orchid. She's sick too. She has it, and she don't look good. Her roots are really, really bad. I don't think she's gonna make it. I don't see any signs of new roots, new growths. Her pseudobulbs are wretched. I don't think I'm gonna be able to save her. I'm gonna try, but yeah. So she's received 2 treatments. She's due for another one in like a couple days. And if you were wondering what I'm using, I've mentioned it in every one of my videos, but I'll mention it in this one too. It's the Cleary's 3336. It's a well-known Fusarium treatment in the orchid world. It is a very, very powerful chemical though, so if you're going to purchase it, please use gloves, do it outside, don't bring it in your home if you can avoid it. It's not something to be trifled with, so just be very careful. And then this is my other Bellaria. This is the Big Shot Pink Panther. She is also not in good shape. She definitely has Fusarium, but she is attempting to put out a new growth. So there could still be hope for this one. She is also being treated, same treatments. So we'll see what we can do to save her. That is my gleam of hope with her. So I'm more optimistic about her than the last couple that I've showed you because of that reason. So that's them. Sorry, Vance, I didn't mean to scare you. He's so jumpy. Slightest thing. And then, you know, it's been the 4th of July, so the poor thing's been jumping out of his skin. This is the oncidium Shari baby that I bought. I showed this in the last video that I posted. I had her come to me with 2 spikes. This spike was extensive, it was blooming, it was gorgeous, and then all of a sudden, way too early it seemed to me, the spike started to die back. So I investigated, sure enough, Fusarium. So I hacked her to bits, like I did to my last Shari baby. And so this is one of the pieces. She only had the purple ring on one side, like it wasn't a complete ring on her. And coincidentally, that's the side that has the spike that's dying. And then the other side that there was no purple ring, the spike, you know, it's not as massive as the other spike, but the flowers are perfectly fine and the spike is perfectly fine. So it's an interesting little tidbit for you. So she does have some roots, you know, so we're going to try to keep her hydrated, get her to grow a little bit. Hopefully she'll send out a new growth as soon as those spikes are finished. This is another piece from that plant. This is 2 pseudobulbs that I was able to cut off. This one had a little more of the purple than I would have liked, but I'm trying to give it strength by leaving this bulb because this is technically kind of a new growth. So I'm trying to give it a little strength so that maybe, you know, this will push on a little quicker. It does have a lot more roots. Some of them are new roots, as you can see. But yeah, this piece, the front piece, was pretty badly infected with the Fusarium on the one side. So like this side of the plant has more of the purple than this side of the plant. So, you know, if I see any signs that one's starting to go, I'll hack this one off too. But I'm trying to give it some strength. I do find that if there's a complete purple ring, it is harder to save than if there's just a little bit of purple. There's just a little bit of purple in my experience, which is not extensive, but I have saved a few plants. They have a tendency to bounce back a little quicker. I also saved this piece, which you may wonder, why would I save a piece like this? It's a back bulb, it doesn't have any, you know, side bracts. It's got a pitiful root system. Well, I saved it because it does have a few available eyes that I can see. And this, for my old Shari baby, was exactly like that. Except this one had bracts. But it was a back bulb and it got new growths. So I'm going to try with this one. So that brings me to my older Shari baby that I saved from Fusarium, or seem to have saved from Fusarium. I mean, you be the judge. This was one of the bulbs that I surgically removed from the mother plant. It grew a tiny, tiny growth. It's now growing another one. It has a very extensive new root system. Very, very happy bunny. Put that back in gently. So Yeah, she's doing good. Excuse me. This is one of the new growths that I removed from the older Shari baby. Again, it was tiny. I mean, this barely even grew a suitable, but she put out some new growths. She has one there, one there, one there, and a plethora of roots that she put out. These plants were all rootless when I saved them, when I cut them apart from the mother plant. And that is the root growth that I got after treating them with the Fusarium treatments. And then this is the other new growth that I cut off of the mother plant. And there's all of her new growth, her new roots. And she has a new growth there, a new growth there. So they are seemingly bouncing back. This is the Miltonia, and it is a Miltonia, that I have treated for Fusarium. This one was super bad, like really badly infected. And yet, here she is. She is in pieces. I kind of have them snuggled together so they'll kind of hold each other up. I have to be really careful where I put the water level because the new growths like kind of grow out from underneath and then up. So I don't want them to rot. I know this glass is making it hard to see, but you see there, they kind of grow out and then up. So I can only put the water like right here and hope that the roots get some hydration, and they do seem to be doing that. I have like 6 or 7 new growths on this plant, and she's putting out new roots that are not dying, and the new growths are not dying. So I think she's gonna make it. I think I may have saved this plant from the dreaded. This is my oncidium sweet sugar. She was like 4 or 5 bulbs, and boy, was she a mess. So most of you probably wouldn't save something like this, but she's trying. So I'm going to give her every opportunity I can. She grew one new growth there, which is a tiny little bulb, but it's healthy and it has roots. A second new growth there that's growing its own roots. So while she's still trying, I'm going to still let her. I'm not going to throw her out. And then this is my oncidium, I don't know, but you can see it. This one also had Fusarium. This was 4 or 5 pseudobulbs, and I found out she had Fusarium, and I just cut the newest growth off of her. And then she grew a new growth that had a little trouble with hydration at first because she had no roots, but as you can see, subsequent leaves have come out just fine. So she's doing well. She's growing quite a few roots, so I'm happy with her progress. So, you know, to me it was worth the struggle. It wasn't really a struggle. I mean, I kind of just give them treatments and see how they do. If they make it, they make it. If they don't, they go under the hedge, as Roger would say. So, you know, to me, it's worth trying. Otherwise, if you really like the plant, you have to rebuy it. Now, technically, a lot of these are not going to bloom for a very long time because of the sorry state that they are in. For instance, my Shari babies. I mean, they do have new growths, but they are tiny, you know, compared to what they're supposed to be. So it's going to take several years to get them to a state where they are a healthy plant. But, you know, I feel good that I was able to save them from a bad infection. And hopefully, you know, with time, they will do better. So anyways, that's what's going on in my collection right now. Those are my newest orchids, the updates on them. I hope you guys are all having a great day, enjoying the beautiful weather. It's gonna be about that time to put on the AC because it's getting hot out there. But anyways, happy growing everyone, and I will talk to you next time.